Hey everybody, we just got back from the Dominican Republic. We had an amazing excursion. It was almost like two in one. So we're going to dive deep into that excursion and the Dominican Republic. Let's talk about it. Hey everybody, I'm Andrew.
And I'm Abby.
And we are the Traveling Dinks. This is going to be a port review on the Dominican Republic.
Yep.
We had an amazing excursion.
It was really, really good.
And this was probably one of my favorite ports we did, and this is, I will say, my all-time favorite excursion.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, what did we do?
So it was kind of a 2-in-1. We got to do like a off-roading buggy experience, and then we went to, I can't pronounce the waterfall.
Dimagua.
Yeah.
I'll put the word right here.
But we can't pronounce it. So.
I can't pronounce it, and I think it's pronounced Dimagua.
Yeah, but so it was one excursion. So we get off the boat. We meet we're in Dominican Republic, but we were in Puerto Plata. If you know, Puerto Plata just did a big refurbishment to the port. I believe it was like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yes.
Spent a lot of money. We're actually going back to the Dominican Republic in a couple cruises, and we're just going to hang out there. There's a pool, lazy river. So you don't have to do an excursion in Puerto Plata. I just want to throw that out there if you're just watching this to learn a little bit about Dominican Republic or Puerto Plata directly. But we did do an excursion here. This was our first time here, and the excursion was so cool. So like I said, we met at our stop, took a bus, a really nice bus, for probably about a 30-minute.
45.
Yeah, it was a good little ride, but it was really nice. We had a great tour guide, very professional. We actually got to, because it was a little bit longer of a ride, we got to see Amber Cove port, which is where Carnival owns that port, and all their ships go in and out of there. And then we arrived at our stop. Depending on what time you get to stop, sometimes you'll do the waterfall first, sometimes you'll do the off-roading. We did the off-roading first, so we got our stuff in our lockers, went to the off-roading experience, and had a blast. When we finished it, I was thinking, okay, it's time to go back to the ship. Like, I had completely forgot we had a whole nother thing to still do because it was so fun. It was probably like 30, 35 minutes of riding around, would you say?
So we get there, they go over the safety briefing, and we get our helmets, and then they tell us to load up and we are off. Yeah. So when about 5 minutes into ours, it breaks down.
Yeah, our broke down, and we were towards the back. I think there was only like 2 people behind us. So they had like tour guides like spread out between us, probably like 4 or 5 groups with us, like tour guides throughout us. So the back guy, he stopped us, put us in his, and then he got ours going like a few minutes later because we saw him come back up. So we were in like originally a 2-person one, which is, we come to find out later, those are the ones that like you get all muddy and wet. Well, because we switched to the tour guide's one, it was like a 4-person one, and we barely got muddy or wet, which I did not mind. But it was really, it involved more than I thought it would. So you do a loop, but so you loop around, you just start going through all the off-roading. We essentially rode through like a village, which was that was so neat. It was, I mean, everybody we were like passing by were waving at us. There was kids in their front yards. It definitely was like it was a farm town because there was a big farm that we also went through.
A guy hurdling his cattle.
Yeah,
was in the middle of the road, and they go right around us.
That was so neat. And then we saw like guys riding donkeys. I mean, it was really cool. Plus, like, we got to like off road into some rivers, and some little streams and lots of mud. Like, everybody really but us and one other couple got like soaked and muddy. Andrew's parents were with us. They got filthy. We did not. I had like a little bit of splatter on me, but it was not bad at all. But so that was like 30-ish minutes. It was great, fun time. Then we come back, we offload. And then we go back to our lockers because you want to have even less on you for the waterfall hike excursion.
And I understand why.
Yeah, going into this, like when we read the description for this, we did do the excursion through the cruise line through Celebrity. It was I think it was a 5 hour, 5.5 hour excursion. So we were thinking probably like, you got your travel times, but like the off-roading will probably be like 30, 45 minutes. And they told, like, it said strenuous on the explanation, but a lot of the time, a lot of that stuff's kind of exaggerated to prevent, like, um to make everybody aware. So we were thinking, okay, it's probably like a 20, 30 minute hike. And then, you go down a waterfall for 30, 45 minutes, and then you have to walk back 20. It was not. This was a strenuous excursion.
180 steps we had to climb.
Yeah, 180 steps.
I want to say it was 3 miles walk.
I think
uphill.
No, I don't think it was. I think it was about 2 miles, and then it's about just under a mile back because obviously you go down the waterfall. So I think it was about 3 miles total.
Okay.
But it was I would say 85 to 90% uphill. And a lot of steps. And if it wasn't steps, you were still sometimes going uphill. So we did see there was groups in front of us, and we did see some people have to turn around. Some older people that made it about halfway. There was like a running joke that Dominicans, everything is their 5 minutes is like 20 minutes everywhere else in the world.
So yeah, you ask them like how much more time we got till we're there. 5 minutes.
And yeah, we were told that for about 45 minutes. So it was probably about an hour hike. We both forgot our Apple Watches that day. And we were so pissed because Andrew had his, but not for the actual hike. He took it off. I didn't have mine at all. But not even the hike. He did 20,000 steps that day just from like the off-roading and all the other walking we did. But that 2 hours we were doing that part, the waterfall and everything, easily was probably another 20,000 steps, and a lot of it was steps. So
yeah. So we get up the mountain.
We did have, I'm throwing there is breaks, probably every 5 to 7 minutes, which you were like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of breaks. No, you needed it. There was probably 1 or 2 times we probably could have kept going, but there was people in our group that obviously needed a break because it really was 85, 90% of it was uphill. And they gave us water bottles. Now there is a certain point, probably the last 10 to 12 minutes of the hike, you weren't allowed to take water bottles past that point because of like trying to, prevent, plastic everywhere thrown away. So they had some trash cans. In the last 10 to 12 minutes, you did have to finish the hike without any water bottles. Andrew did bring his GoPro. I'm really glad he did because he got some really cool video and footage. And then we
finally get up the mountain.
Yeah.
And it was so cool because we go down these steps and it's like in this ravine and it's the water and you're walking down this ravine with like rocks all around you. The water is freezing
cold, and you don't expect.
So we get going and walking down, and there's periodically like natural slides throughout the whole entire thing. It's probably 3.
I think it was 4.
3 or 4.
And I feel like we thought going into it was probably just one big slide.
Yeah.
But and then the last, like the big one, you can choose to either walk stair. They have a ladder. Or you can do another slide, or you can jump 18 feet.
It's 18-foot jump. I'm not big on heights.
Yeah.
But I was like, 18 feet, that's not terrible. It is. It's terrifying. So I did it though. I jumped. She slid down the slide.
But that slide it's pretty much just shortens the jump because the natural slide is probably 4 to 5 feet, and then you're forced down. So, and you can't see it from up there, which I probably shouldn't be saying this as if you're doing this excursion, but so it just kind of shortens, it forces you to not have to do the jump, and it makes it not as far of a fall down. Most people did either the slide or the jump. a lot of people would go to do the jump because you can't really see how high it is till you get like you're the next person, and a lot of people would turn around, not a lot of people, but then people would turn around and then go do the slide, or some people would then climb down. We didn't have a lot of people. Our tour guides were like, you have 3 options, but you really have 2. They really didn't want people to climb down because it does slow our group down a lot. I would say the only negative I would have about this excursion when it comes to the waterfall portion is it was a really big group. Plus, there was so many groups around us. I mean, you might have some video and pictures. I mean, there was a lot of people. I think it would have been really fun if you could even done in like a small group of like 10 to 15 people. There was probably
Well, this was
25.
listed as a small group
Yeah, and it
excursion, and
wasn't
it
a
wasn't.
small group. And besides it not our group not even being small, there were so many groups around us. So it was just a lot of people when you got to like those last 2 water slides and the big jump. There must be other like tracks and trails to get to the, because we didn't see a lot of those people. We did see one group when we were walking, but there was a lot of groups that kind of all mushed together. But they didn't rush you. It was really fun. Our tour guides were so fun. There was probably like 4 or 5 of them. They had people there, photographers, 2 photographers walking with us to take pictures. And then we started our hike back, which like I said, was probably a little less than a mile. We did stop one time halfway through just to let everybody catch up. It was mostly flat. There was some uphill and downhill, but it wasn't nearly as bad. And then we get back, we return all of our gear. We had about 10-15 minutes, not as much time because there was like shops and restaurants there, but we didn't have time to do it. And then because they did take a ton of pictures of us, but it was $85 for the pictures, which is just.
Yeah, one thing I will say about the restaurants, when you get back, you do have 10 or 15 minutes. A lot of people, so at this point, I was pretty hungry. I was pretty starving because of that hike. And then we just haven't eaten since breakfast. And it was a pretty strenuous activity we did. A lot of people got food to go and brought it onto the bus. Pretty smart idea.
We wish we would have done that.
As soon as we sat down and started moving, we kind of highly regret not doing that. But I would probably advise you to go get food to go and then bring it onto a bus.
Especially the thing with this was our excursion was like almost the whole time we were in port. Our port time was only 7:30 to 3, and we met for our excursion right at 7:30, and then
we were 30 minutes late.
We were 30 minutes late getting back, but that is one of the great things, to always put, not always, but we try to book our excursions through the cruise line because we were late and the boat would have left us if we wouldn't have done the excursion through Celebrity. So when we got back, after we got our ride back to port, we had to just go straight on the boat. We had no time to do anything. We were, like Andrew said, we were really hungry at that point because we got back at like 3. I think the bus got back to port at like 3 o'clock. So by the time we got all the way to the boat, it was 3:30, which was all aboard was at 3 o'clock. So it was a very strenuous activity, and we were gone the whole day. So, and we had breakfast. We ate like a light breakfast at like 6:30 that morning. So we were really hungry. And then, of course, this isn't really for Dominican Republic, but then we got back on the boat, like the Ocean View Cafe, the buffet had just closed for lunch. So like we were hungry.
They had some things open.
Yeah, it was like the limited options.
It had some things open, so we did actually just get some food, but small amount. But I do wish we would have eaten there.
And it looked good. Like there was a couple in front of us that ate it, and they said it was good.
They would say it was really good. Just get that local food. But yeah. So all right. So what would you rate Puerto Plata and the excursion together?
I would rate it. I mean, we didn't really get to experience Puerto Plata, I feel like, besides the waterfall. And the waterfall is in a national park, so there was like all kinds of stuff you could do. But I would rate it probably a 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10?
Yeah.
What would make it a 10 out of 10?
I think, and it's really more for like the amount of time we had, and that we didn't have time to even like grab food and stuff. So just not getting to like have enough time to do like anything other than the excursion that we booked, or even experience like that the shops and the restaurants right there. We're in the national park. I'm not even counting the port, just like to have that time to like had 30-45 minutes. I do feel like our group we got delayed because there were so many other people because we were late back on the boat because we had to wait so long for the other groups at the waterfalls, which I think is what delayed us.
Okay.
So and that may not have been our tour guides' fault. It might have been, I don't know. We don't know what caused that miscommunication or that slip up. But besides that, it was perfect. I thought it was great. Besides, that would be the only like point I would give it away. What about you?
I'll be honest with you. I thought it was a 10 out of 10. It was my favorite. Like I said in the beginning, it was my favorite excursion.
It was so fun. It's something, if we
It
probably would have known how much of a hike it was, we probably wouldn't have done it. But I'm so glad we did.
it was it was really it was really
It
awesome
was
just
so
to get out
beautiful.
there and hike a little bit, see the waterfall. The waterfalls and the little ravine we walked through was just it was so
Yeah.
beautiful. Um,
And the hike to get there, like, I think it would discourage a lot of people. And don't let this video do that because yes, it was hard, but it was like they made it fun on the way up
they
there,
were
and we
pretty
took
awesome.
lots of breaks. They provided you free water, and it's so worth it once you get there. Now if you have, any health concerns, then that you do need to like look into it for sure because it is. I mean, it's a workout. I would say it would be. I mean, it was a workout that day. I mean, we both got like short breath a few times, and like we needed the breaks when it came time for the breaks. There was a few times we probably could have kept going, but they did give you breaks and all the things that you needed to. So
Yeah,
but yeah, it was great, great review, great excursion. I would do it again. Our next time we are going to do something a little different, but I would do it again.
yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, thank you for stopping by our channel. Thanks.
Bye.